Fifth wheels under 30 feet long seem to be all the rage these days. Susan and I see them at RV shows and dealerships all across the country. Stick around, folks. We found some awesome floor plans of fifth wheels under 30 feet. You're not going to want to miss these. Hey guys, Mike with RVBlogger here in front of the camera, and Susan's behind the camera. And if you've seen us before on YouTube, welcome back to the channel. If it's your first time seeing us, welcome aboard. Susan and I make tons of videos all about RVing, and we're sure are happy to have you here. Now, we'd also like to invite you to sign up to our weekly newsletters that we send out. Every week we send out newsletters featuring our YouTube videos and blog articles, and it's a great way to become a really well-informed RVer. And when you do sign up for our newsletters, you also get a free subscription to RV Today magazine. So 8 times a year, you'll get their e-magazine 100% free in your mailbox as well. I'll put a link in the notes down below so you can sign up, or you can just go to rvblogger.com and there'll be a nice pop-up that pops up where you can sign up, or once you're on the website, just go to the menu under RV Camping Magazine and you can sign up there as well. No matter how you do it, we'd love to have you join in on the newsletter. We mail it out every week to over 100,000 people, and we'd love to mail it to you too. But without any further ado, let's get started on our reviews of fifth wheels under 30 feet long. This fifth wheel is the Cruiser RV Essence, model number E25RK. It has an unloaded vehicle weight of 7,808 pounds, a cargo carry capacity of 2,592 pounds for an overall gross vehicle weight rating of 10,400 pounds. The hitch weight is 1,372 pounds. It measures in at just 28 feet 9 inches long, and it can sleep up to 4 people. When you first walk into this fifth wheel, on the right-hand side is where the bathroom and bedroom are located towards the front. And then we wrap around through the living area and kitchen area towards the rear of this fifth wheel. Our first impression when we walk in here is that this fifth wheel feels very, very nice, and it's got some little features to it here and there that really make it stand out a little bit. And so as we work our way through the tour, we'll point all of those features out to you. First of all, though, the first thing you'll notice is straight ahead, you've got all of your control panels right here on the wall. Very easy and accessible to get to. Then you come into your living area, and this is sort of like an open storage area, but it looks very nice. I like the rounded corners and everything in here. One of those nice little touches that they've done. And there's even a light up top. We don't have power right now. We're at the RV show and they haven't powered up all the units yet, but there would be a light up here that turns on when you're using your unit. There's also some receptacles down here on the right hand side. So if you want to set up a little coffee bar, or you want to just use this to throw your keys and phones and be able to charge things up, you can certainly do that. Then we have a little bit of open storage and then some more storage down below. Then they have this door set up here, which just slides both directions. So you can open it up this way, and this would be like a pantry cabinet where you can store all of your dry goods. There's also a light in this cabinet as well. As we continue to wrap on around, we come to the theater style seating that they have in here, and these seats are very comfortable, by the way. I mean, when you sit down in here, they do recline back and you can lounge and relax, and it feels really, really nice. It's also directly across from the TV, which I'll point out as we wrap our way through. But all in all, it's a nice setup. There are 2 smaller cup holders in the middle that could hold like a can, and then 2 larger cup holders on each end for larger drinks. And then you've got a little spot here in the middle where you can keep all your remote controls for your TV and DVD player and the sound bar and all that good stuff. You'll also notice right behind me here is a really nice sized window, and so that lets in plenty of natural light. So just past the theater seating is where the refrigerator is. And I do want to point out that both the theater seating and the fridge are in one big slide out in here. This is about a 3-foot slide. And even when the slide is in the in position, I measured it all up, there's still plenty of room to be able to get to the refrigerator and open it. So if you wanted to have a lunch or something while you're heading down the road, you could pretty easily do that with your slides closed. The fridge here is a really nice size refrigerator. You know, it's got the fridge up top with the French doors, pretty good size. And then down below, this has 2 freezer compartments, one above and one below. Now, my personal feeling on a refrigerator like this is that it's kind of inconvenient the way the freezer is, because you can never really get full access to the freezer because they don't pull all the way out. And also, there's no ice maker in here. So we have a side-by-side fridge in our RV. Freezer's on the left, refrigerator's on the right, but that allows us to have an ice maker in the door so we can get water and ice that way. So let me know what your thoughts are on this style of fridge in an RV, or if you prefer a different style of fridge in the comments down below. We'd love to hear from you about that. Now, as we continue wrapping on around, you'll notice that you've got your cooking area here. Up top, you have a really nice big cabinet for tons of storage. Then they have a 30-inch microwave oven in here, which is the same thing that you would have at home. I mean, this is a residential-sized microwave oven, and it's just fantastic to have a large microwave that big. Down below that, you've got your cooktop here, which is a 3-burner cooktop. And then you'll see that all the little knobs light up and everything. And then below that, you have an actual oven in here. Now, it's not really big, but you could certainly bake cookies or, you know, throw a pizza in the oven or anything along those lines. Now, next to that, we have lots of storage up top here. All of these cabinets are very large and spacious. Now, the shelving that's in these cabinets is fixed, so you can't really adjust it. And personally, I like to see adjustable shelves because I just think it makes things a little more convenient for you. Same thing in the corner cabinet. Nice big corner cab with a fixed shelf, and this cabinet is the same way. Down below that, we have all of this countertop space through here, which is great. It's also got a receptacle on each end of this open countertop space area, and a couple of nice big windows here to let in lots of natural light. But you could easily set up your coffee machine, toaster oven, whatever you need, and you have plenty of places for that. I also want to point out, though, the little backsplash that they have in here. It only comes up about 6 inches, but it just gives it a nice little touch, makes it look a little bit nicer in here. Now, the sink in here is an upgraded sink and faucet system. It's really pretty cool, and it's got some neat features. One we've never seen before, and we're still trying to figure out what it is and how it works. But you can see the size of this sink is very large, and the sink bottom slopes down this direction to get to the drain, and then it has these 2 pans that you can pull in and out of here. Now, one of them has a little drain cover in it, so if you wanted to fill this up and wash some things in there, I suppose you could. And the other, I would use this like when we buy grapes or you know, blueberries or whatever. You could throw them in here and rinse them off, do all kinds of things for your cooking prep. Now, we have a gooseneck faucet here, which is a really good size, with a separate sprayer or an integral sprayer. But this also has what's called a waterfall faucet, which is this piece here, this black part. And that actually squirts water out into the sink. And I guess you could use that to wash your vegetables and things. We've never seen this before in an RV, and the water's not on, so we can't test it and show you how it works. But we're assuming that that's what the waterfall faucet does. It squirts water out into this tray so you can rinse off vegetables and things. There's also a second feature here, and that is this guy. And we know if you press down on here, some water will squirt out. Now, there's not enough pressure to really do anything with it, but I think what you do is maybe put a coffee mug or a glass on there upside down and it squirts water up into it. I'm not really sure. So if you know what the heck that is, let us know in the comments down below. I'm sure by the time the video comes out, we will have researched it and figured it out, but we'd still like to hear your thoughts on it nonetheless. Now, down below, we have a bank of drawers over here. Top drawer has built-in separators for all your kitchen utensils, and then a couple more drawers for storage below that. We also have some decent storage underneath the kitchen sink. And then this is a really nice feature. You can put your trash can in here. The whole drawer front pulls out so it looks nice, and then you can grab your trash out of here and throw it away. But it's nice to have a separate spot just for your trash can. Now, just past the kitchen counter area is where your dinette is located. But first, above your dinette is where they have a 50-inch TV up here. Very good sized TV. Perfect location because you can see it from your theater seating right across from it. And then they took the window valance and they mounted the sound bar on there. Now, one thing to note with sound bars, if you're going to get one in your RV, sound bars are meant to be placed at the same level as your ears are when you're sitting in your chair watching TV. So really, for optimal sound, the sound bar should be here, so it's even to where you would be sitting in your recliners. But they got it mounted here. It's as close as possible to perfect. It's in a great location, and they made really good use out of this valance area. Also above here, you could use this as a little shelf. I don't know, you might want to throw some knickknacks up there and make it nice and homey in here. Above the dinette, they have a nice big window here, and the dinette itself has a really cool feature to it, because when you're sitting here, sometimes it's hard to squeeze 4 people into these dinettes, but you'll notice towards the end of the booths that these seats actually extend further than the cabinetry underneath, and that there's a piece of wood that goes on the bottom of this cushion so it stays nice and firm while you're sitting on it. And so 4 people would be able to sit in this dinette booth very comfortably and enjoy a meal. So great job on that. Also, underneath both of the booths, there is storage under there. So if you want to hide away, you know, blankets, pillows, any of that kind of stuff that you don't use very often, that's very accessible and easy to get to, and gives you a lot of extra storage. Now, the dinette itself does convert into another bed. You would just drop the table down and then use your seat cushions to make a bed out of this. And if you did that, you would end up with a bed in here that is about 66 inches long, and you would end up about 42 inches wide. So an average size adult or a couple of small kids would be able to stay in here along with you. Now, when we look at, you know, fifth wheels that are under 30 feet, we typically consider them to be couples campers. But, you know, you might have the grandkids, you might have your own kids, I don't know. But a couple of small kids, or, you know, kids or average size adults could sleep here as well. So now, before we head upstairs and take a look at the bedroom and bathroom, I just want to show you one more feature here at the stair area. They left these stairs as open stairs for 2 reasons. Number one is, you see the grate in the back there, that is your cold air return for your furnace. So if you're camping in colder weather, or you need to run the furnace just to heat things up on a chilly fall morning or something like that, you want to make sure that that is not blocked. So you don't want to store anything under there that would block the grate from air going into it. And the other nice thing about this feature is it's a perfect place to just kick your shoes and keep them here. They certainly won't block the grate, but it's a nice location to walk in the door, kick your shoes under there before you walk throughout your camper. So here we are up the stairs and in the owner's bedroom in this fifth wheel. And this is a decent sized room that's in here. The one thing that I like about it is that there's no floor height changes in the bedroom. Sometimes you'll find that in a fifth wheel, and it can be a little bit of a trip hazard in my opinion. Or you end up in a situation where you really have to crouch down the further you go towards the front of your rig to be able to get in and out of bed. Not the case in here. I'm 5'11", I've got a few inches over my head, so I would say if you're 6'1" or less, you'd be pretty comfortable in here. If you're 6'1" or more, you may have to crouch as you get closer to the head of the bed. Now, this is a good sized bed too. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, this is 80 inches by 60 inches wide, so this would be considered a residential queen size bed in here. Another really nice feature about the bed is that the entire bed lifts up, and there is just a ton of storage underneath of here. And one really cool feature is there's also a light on the bottom of the bed mattress platform, so when you do lift it up, you can click the light, turn it on, and see what you're doing under there. Nice little touch. It's one of the little touches that they've added throughout this camper to just make it a little bit nicer. Now, towards the head of the bed, you'll notice that there's a reading light on each side, so you can lay in there and read a book at night. There's also a receptacle on each side, and then the headboard itself has this shelf up top here, so you can plug in and throw your phone up there so it'll charge overnight while you're sleeping. Now, on each side of the bed, they've done a great job with these cabinets. I really like it. They go from the ceiling down to the floor. They've actually put a low shelf in there, so you could throw shoes and things underneath the low shelf, put a few items on that shelf, and then still be able to hang garments from the bar that's at the top of the closet. And so I think they did a very good job thinking all of that through with these closets. Now, just to my right here is another really big closet that's in here. Now, this can come either as a closet or it can come as a laundry closet. And the way they're showing this rig today is that it's roughed in for a washer and a dryer. So everything's here that you need to be able to wash your clothes in your rig. And I don't know about you, we have a washer and dryer in our Class A, and we absolutely love it. So for those of you that are wondering if you should get a rig with a washer and dryer, if you're on the road a lot, we highly, highly recommend it. If you're a vacationer and a weekender kind of camper, I'm not really sure you need a washer and dryer, but if you're on the road 9 months a year like we are, it sure comes in handy. One other feature to note is that there is a window on each side of the bedroom, and that way you can open up, get a nice cross breeze in here on those beautiful spring and fall days. And finally, there is a TV location right here. You would mount your TV on the wall. You can get a pretty good sized TV up here. You've got your receptacle to plug in, and then your cable and satellite stuff up here as well, so you can just plug her right in right there and you are good to go. All right, so here we are in the bathroom, which is up the steps from the living area, and then, you know, before you get to the owner's bedroom. So it's kind of in the middle of the RV. Now the shower in here feels like a very good size shower. I mean, I feel very comfortable being able to stand in here and take a shower. You've got a few spots here or shelves here in the corner for your shampoo and soap, and then you've got a basic shower head here that you can use, and of course they're always detachable. Up top we have a skylight, and as far as ceiling height in here goes, since we're in the mid part of the rig, there should be plenty of room. And yeah, we get up to 6 feet 8 inches of height into the skylight. The regular ceiling height in the bathroom is about 6 feet 5 inches tall, so you know, for you taller guys and gals, you just have to see if this one will work for you or not, but pretty good amount of headspace in here. There's also a small fan in here to vent the bathroom when you're taking a shower. Now, one thing you guys know, if you've seen any of my other videos, they have a shower curtain in here. Not a big fan of the shower curtains, but you could easily buy a retractable shower door and install it yourself in here. They make them in custom sizes, so you can buy exactly the size you need and replace the shower curtain with a retractable door. We think it's a great idea to go ahead and do that. So just outside of the shower is where the medicine cabinet is located. It's a very big medicine cabinet, nice big mirror there. And then you have your shelving inside of that for putting all your personal items away. Below that, we have our vanity, which is a good sized vanity sink. There's a little bit of countertop space around it, so that's nice. There's also a receptacle here so you can plug in, you know, blow dryer, hair curler, shaver, whatever you need. And then finally, below your vanity sink, there is some additional storage down below. Now, when you're sitting on the commode in here with the door open, it probably looks a little tighter than it really is because the door takes up 1.5 inches of space, and you would close the door, I assume, when you're using the bathroom, which would give you a little bit more elbow room on the right. Certainly not going to pass the elbow test. The left side, we are wide open, but the bathroom's big enough that you don't feel claustrophobic in here at all. Very common in most fifth wheels to have a very large storage area up front here. You can see there are a couple boxes in here. We're at an RV show. This is a brand new RV, and these are some of the parts and pieces for it. And in addition to this, there's even a little more storage up front, which I'll show you right now. In the very front of the fifth wheel is where the battery compartment is located, but you have plenty of room to store even more goodies up here. This fifth wheel is the Forest River Wildcat 1, model number 25BH. It has an unloaded vehicle weight of 7,768 pounds, a cargo carry capacity of 2,227 pounds, for an overall gross vehicle weight rating of 9,995 pounds. The hitch weight is 1,385 pounds. It measures in at 30 feet even, and it can sleep up to 8 people. When you first walk into this fifth wheel, on the right-hand side is where the owner's bedroom is located. Then we swing on around through the living area into the kitchen area, and in the very back of this rig is where the bunk beds are and the bathroom. Our first impression of this fifth wheel when we walked in is, man, this is perfect for families because you've got the bunk beds in the back, and so you can sleep a lot of people in here, and it's just a really nice, big, roomy area here with the living and kitchen area too. So great fifth wheel under 30 feet long for families for sure. Now on my right hand side here, as soon as you walk in, you'll notice that you have all of your controls here so you can see what's going on inside your rig and make sure you're powered up properly. Starting up top, we have these nice glass doors, and the entertainment center just looks really nice. Everything's kind of built in and where it's supposed to be. There's a couple of storage cabinets up here that are pretty shallow, but you can still you know, maybe even add another shelf in here so you can use it to store things up top here. The TV in here is on a swing arm, so you can pull it out and swing it so you can see it better from the theater seating. And then below that, we've got some open storage above the fireplace, and then you have a nice cozy fireplace down below. Now, the seating in here, these recliners, are very, very nice and comfortable. You have a cup holder on each side, and then these are manual recliners, so you just pull the little cord, this thing pops right up. You can recline back nice and far. The TV will swing out and face you here, so that's a pretty decent placement. And like I mentioned, these are really comfy recliners. Now you'll notice to my left is a nice big window. You can open and get a cross breeze in here. And you have a really nice big window right behind me, so it lets a lot of light into this camper. We're actually at the Tampa RV show while we're shooting this one. There's no electricity yet because we're here early, but you can tell with all these big windows, it's bright enough in here that we can still shoot the video. Now on my right-hand side is a receptacle so that if you need to sit here, plug anything in and charge it, maybe you're, you know, typing on your laptop or something, you could certainly do that. Now as we continue wrapping around, they have a nice big dinette in here, and this will convert into a bed. Now I'm not a big fan of this type of dinette for a couple of reasons. Number one, you have two table braces under here, and it makes it really difficult to kind of get your feet in and get it together here. So really only 3 people could sit at this table unless you have another chair where someone could sit here, and then you could get 4 people at this table. Also, we've got another really nice big window over top of this dinette area, and then this will also drop down and convert into a bed. And so if you did that, you would end up with, wow, this is like 74 inches. And it's about 40, I'll call it 43 inches wide. And so I would say 1 average size adult could sleep here, maybe 2 kids could sleep here, and that would work out really well. Now storage under the dinette space is great. They've got these little baskets here that you can use, but really it's open all the way under all the benches, so you've got plenty of storage space underneath of there as well. Now, as we continue to wrap around, we come into the remainder of the kitchen area. Starting at the top here, there's a huge storage cabinet over top of the refrigerator. It's just gigantic, and I really like the fact that they have the hardware here that holds it up for you, so when you open it, you don't have to use one hand to keep it open while you get whatever you need out of the cabinet. So that's a really nice feature to have. On the right-hand side here, we have really large pantry cabinets with just tons and tons of space in there. And then of course you have your refrigerator, which is a 12-volt fridge. No propane needed. This thing runs off your battery. When you're plugged into shore power, that charges up the battery and keeps the fridge running too. So really good setup there. And the freezer's huge in here. I mean, that's a tremendous amount of space. Keep all your ice cubes, frozen pizzas, all that fun stuff, popsicles, whatever you have. Now down below here, there's an open spot under the fridge, and they've put this little stool in here, which I know Susan would greatly appreciate, but if you need to get up into this top cabinet, it just makes it a little easier. Same thing is true for the cabinets in the entertainment area. Just a nice little feature to have, so it makes life more convenient for you. Now, right next to the fridge is where the rest of the kitchen is located. Up top here, they have a nice little wine rack that they've built in, so that's kind of cool. And then you have a microwave oven below that. Next to that, you have lots and lots of storage space in here. Now, this shelf in here is fixed. I always prefer to see adjustable shelves in here. That way you can move them around and make it work for you. In this case, this shelf doesn't move, so you'd probably end up using totes or something like that to put all your stuff in, so it's not sliding all around while you're driving down the road, and it'll make things a little more organized for you. Now down below that, we have a 3-burner cooktop here, and these glass pieces just fold right up and out of the way. And then below that, you've got a small oven under here, and you could bake things like a batch of cookies or a pizza pretty easily in there. Down below that, this door opens, and there's a really large storage area there. So I would probably just keep a bin full of all my pots and pans, pull that out when I need it, and stow it away after I'm done. So just next to the cooktop, the rest of the countertop comes around in an L shape. Plenty of countertop space here. That's one of the advantages of an L-shaped kitchen, is that everything's in the shape of an L, and it usually gives you a little more countertop space. There's also a receptacle right up underneath this cabinet, so if you want to set up your coffee maker and toaster, you can plug everything in right there and you're good to go. Now the sink in here is a really, really nice size sink. It's one of the biggest sinks we've seen in an RV. Plenty of room there to wash all your pots and pans and dishes, and it's got a gooseneck faucet with an integral sprayer, so you're good to go there. Now down below the countertops, we have a couple of drawers here for all your kitchen utensils, and then another cabinet under the kitchen sink for even more storage, and your trash can. Now we kind of walked past this area in our review of the kitchen and living area, but this is where the bunks are, and these are like double bunks back here. I can't remove these two giant boxes. They're pretty heavy and I don't want to get into it, but we're at the RV show, and so they're storing some of their marketing materials and things up here for now. But as you can see, there is a window in the back. It's also got a receptacle and a couple of USB ports, and it also has a light up here. They haven't plugged this unit in, so we don't have any power yet, but it's got all four of the elements that we look for when we evaluate bunk beds: window, light, receptacles, and USB ports. This has all four up top, so it's a great setup. Now the bunk bed up here measures in at 74 inches by 42 inches wide, and so one or two kids, if they're small, could squeeze up here very easily. Now down below is another bunk bed, same size as the one above, but this bunk folds up and out of the way, and then you have the exterior door that you can use to put things in here, and that might be like bikes or taller items that you need for some storage here. Just a terrific setup, and if you don't need it, you can still store things under the bed even while everything's in use. So terrific setup. Now this has 3 out of 4 of the elements that we look for. It's got a receptacle, USB ports, and a light. It does not have a window, but it does have the door. So I guess you got to have a little bit of a trade-off there. But either way, these bunks are a really good setup back here. Perfect for a family that's going camping in a 30-foot or smaller fifth wheel. So here we are in the owner's bedroom in the very, very front of this fifth wheel. And it's a good size room. It's not oversized. It's very comfortable in here. And the bed in here looks to be a decent size too. Let's see what we have. Yeah, it's 80 inches long. I'm sure it's 60 inches wide. And it is actually wider than 60. This is actually 66 inches wide. So it's pretty close to a king size bed. I think a residential king is 70 inches wide and 80 inches long. So this is about 6 inches less than that, but it's a good RV king. So that's a really nice feature to have as well. Now at the headboard area, you'll notice that it's got an inset area. It's also got receptacles and USB ports up there. So if you need a CPAP machine, or you just have, I don't know, phones, tablets, things you want to charge overnight, you can certainly do that. You might even put a little light up there so that when you're getting ready for bed at night, you have a little light for reading and things like that. There are also a couple of reading lights underneath of the cabinetry if you choose to use those. Over top of the bed, you have 2 really nice big storage doors up here. The storage compartment goes all the way across. There's no divider in the middle. So you have lots of room there. And then on each side of the bed, you have a wardrobe closet, so you can hang your garments inside there. One other thing to note is that on each side of this bedroom, there is a window that can open up. They are both emergency exit windows, but you can use them as regular windows in your RV and open them to get some nice cross air ventilation in here as well. Another nice feature in here regarding the bed is that the bed will lift up, and then there is some storage underneath of that, so you can store whatever, extra blankets, pillows, whatever you need. Now the TV location here is in a great spot. It's right at the end of the bed. I like the way they have it all trimmed out and inset into the wall, and Susan pointed out that she thinks the reason they inset it like this is because when you're walking by the bed, you know, you don't have this TV sticking out off the wall that's going to impede your path. So this is a really nice way to take care of that little problem. You'll also notice up above here you've got your receptacles and cable outlets, so you can plug in your TV and get it all ready to go. So here we are in the bathroom, which is all the way in the back of this rig, and it's right next to the bunk beds. But there's a couple of really nice features about this bathroom that we can point out. The first one's very obvious. It's got its own entry door, which for you folks that are camping with little kids, you know you don't want them running in the camper, running throughout with dirty shoes and whatnot. So they can come right in to the back of the camper, right into the bathroom, do their business, and back out they go to play without running through your whole fifth wheel. Now the shower in here is a really good size shower. It feels nice and big and comfortable in here. Headroom in here is not a problem at all. Sorry for the golf cart noise in the background. We're at the RV show and they're running all around getting set up today. But gosh, I mean, there's 6 feet 11 inches of headroom inside the shower, so no worries about that at all. It's a basic shower setup in here. It's got a shelf for your shampoo and soaps and things like that, and a basic sprayer in here. One thing they did that I really think is good is they have this retractable shower door, and so it's spring loaded, it's super easy to use, keeps any water from leaving the shower, and it's not a shower curtain, so I give them kudos for installing the retractable shower door. Now right across from the shower is where the vanity area is. They have a really nice big mirror here. I kind of wish they had put a medicine cabinet mounted on the wall with a door that opens so you have a place to store your personal belongings. But you could always buy one at Home Depot and install it yourself. It's a piece of cake, very easy to do, and that'll give you some extra storage space inside your bathroom. Below that, you've got a nice size vanity sink. Not much countertop space, but enough to get by. And then you have an electrical receptacle here in case you need that for a blow dryer, hair curler, all that good stuff. Then they have open storage down below that. Now, just behind where the shower is located, they have these 3 large storage compartments that are really deep too. I mean, these things are 30 inches deep. So if you needed a place for all your towels and linens and maybe extra toilet paper and stuff like that, this would be a good spot for all that stuff. Now, they have a couple of towel hooks on the wall here. I would probably remove these if it were my camper and put in a couple of towel bars and make it a little more functional. But that's super easy to do too. You can buy towel bars at Home Depot for 10 bucks and go ahead and install them yourself. It's really a piece of cake. Now the toilet itself in here sits on an angle, so we can pass the elbow test with flying colors. You certainly want to make sure that door is closed when you're going to the bathroom though. So one last feature about the entry door that comes in from the bathroom that's really handy in this fifth wheel is when this slide out is in, and let's say you're stopping on the road because you want to have lunch, you may not be able to use the front door to get in and squeeze around to get into the kitchen, but you can use the door that comes through the bathroom. So you have full access to your bathroom and you have full access to your refrigerator and kitchen, and you can even sit at the dinette booth if you like. So for those of you that like to know how much space you have inside when everything's closed up, this fifth wheel is a winner all the way around. So here we are outside, and we were talking about the bunk beds, and the bottom one can lift up to create storage, and then here's the door that you would use to get in there. Now this bunk just simply swings right up and out of the way, and you can store bikes and stuff back here very, very easily. And now we'll take a look at the front and show you some storage up there. At the front of this fifth wheel, there's an exterior storage compartment up here. This is where the spare tire is loaded, but there's also additional room in here for more of your storage items. This fifth wheel is the Forest River Flagstaff, model number F281RK. It has an unloaded vehicle weight of 8,247 pounds, a cargo carry capacity of 1,589 pounds, for an overall gross vehicle weight rating of 9,836 pounds. The hitch weight is 1,236 pounds. It measures in at 28 feet 11 inches long, and it can sleep up to 4 people. When you first walk into this fifth wheel, on the right hand side, you'll notice that's where the owner's bedroom and the main bathroom are located. Downstairs here in the main living area, this is your living room and your kitchen area. Now our first impression when we walk in here is that it feels pretty nice in here. You know, we're in the back end of this fifth wheel, which is under 30 feet long, but it still feels really nice and spacious in here for a few different reasons. First of all, you know, all fifth wheels have these nice high ceilings, and so that really adds volume to the room. And second of all, there's a slide out which contains the living room couch that's in here, and so that gives you some extra floor space in here as well. But everything looks to be laid out very, very well thought out. And so we'll start just talking about the living area. Now, this area when you first come in could be where you throw your keys or other items down. You even have a tower of power here if you need to charge your phone or things like that. Down below here you have a little bit of storage space, and then above you have these nice cabinet doors with the black glass inlays that just look very nice and luxurious. And then of course you have additional storage behind that. Now just next to this is where your pantry would be located, and you'll also notice that you've got the etched black glass in the top of these doors as well, just to give you that nice look. This top half of this cabinet is deeper for more storage items, but down below it's a little shallower, so you might be able to throw shoes and boots or even build another shelf in here. One thing you do need to be careful of is that there is a cold air return at the bottom of this cabinet, so you don't want to block that off if you're going to be using your furnace to keep you warm if you're camping in the shoulder seasons or in the winter time, or you get stuck in a cold spell and you want to run your furnace. You can't put a box or anything in front of that. You have to leave it open. Now up above the pantry cabinet, there's even another cabinet up here for even more storage. So tons of storage built into this fifth wheel. Now, as I mentioned, the couch is in this slide out here, and it's a pretty comfy couch. You know, the cushioning in here feels really, really good. As you can see, I've got windows on every side. I mean, we had to close this one because of glare, but you have one on each side and a nice big one behind you, so you have a nice light, airy feeling in here. Now, this couch also will pull out into a bed. It's pretty easy to do that. You just remove these cushions, and then the bed itself, you grab it and pull it up and out. Now you have to be careful a little bit and hold it, but these little bars pop out and then it lays down, and then the sofa back just pulls on down. Now when you do this, you end up with a bed that is about 72 inches long, and it is about 54 inches wide, and so it would be considered a short, full-size bed, but certainly 2 adults could sleep here, 2 kids could easily sleep here, and it's in a great spot to give you a secondary bed for this camper. Now this slide out in the kitchen, we want to mention it real quick because it's a big slide out. It's about, I don't know, almost 40 inches deep. So when you're traveling down the road and your slide is in, it's going to come into the room, you know, right to here. And so it's going to be, you're not going to be able to access your refrigerator at all, and there won't be much room to even scooch by to get past the countertop in here to get into the kitchen area. So for you folks that care about that sort of thing, when you're traveling down the road, you want to have access to your fridge to grab lunch or whatever, it's probably not going to work out very well in this kitchen. So as we continue wrapping around through here, now we're in the kitchen area, and this is great. It's like a U-shaped kitchen, right? You have countertop on all 3 sides of you, so it gives you a lot of countertop space. Now the refrigerator that's in here is a really pretty good size fridge, and it has a separate freezer up top. This is a 12-volt fridge, which we're seeing just about everything switching over to the 12 volts these days. That way it doesn't have to run on propane, it can just run on battery power, or it'll run, of course, when you're plugged into shore power. Now above here we have additional storage above and both below the refrigerator, so you get tons of space to store all your kitchen goods, pots and pans, and all that stuff. Now the kitchen in here, up top we have even more storage with these black glass doors that are in here. It's all open storage. So this might be a case where you'd have, you know, like clear totes. That's what we do. We have clear totes. Put all our stuff in there, and then we can see what's in the totes so we know where to go to grab whatever we need. And it also keeps things from flying around inside of the cabinet while we're traveling down the road, because this cabinet goes all the way across. It's actually got a blind corner over here as well, so if you had things in here, they could slide all the way from side to side, and I'm sure you don't want that going on while you're driving down the road. Now just below these cabinets is where your kitchen sink is located. This is a really big sink, really nice sized, pretty deep. You've got this gooseneck faucet over top with an integral sprayer as well, so great setup. And then it comes with these little drying racks. There's 2 of them, one for each side of the sink, So after you wash them, you can dry things here too. I like the fact that there is a window over top of the kitchen sink. It just lights everything up. And then we have a tower of power in the back corner over here, which includes 2 electrical receptacles, a USB, and a USB-C port, I guess you would call it. So you can plug in virtually anything back here and be in good shape. You can also plug in a toaster, coffee maker, whatever, and make your breakfast in the morning. As we wrap on around, then we have a 3-burner stove here, and then down below that it comes with a real oven, and it's a really good size oven too. You could cook, man, I think I could get a turkey in there, definitely a ham, and bake away. Much bigger than what's needed just for a pizza, that's for sure. Up top here, it's got a residential sized microwave oven too. This is one of the bigger microwave ovens that we've seen in any of the campers that we've reviewed. So that's a great feature to have too. And then you just have more storage beside and above the microwave oven. And then as we continue to wrap around, they have the TV mounted up top here, which is in a great position because you could see it anywhere from in here. You could see it while you're sitting on the couch, or maybe if someone's out here going to sleep at night on the bed, on the sofa bed, they can watch the TV here as well. So that's a great setup. Now the countertop space here is really, really large, and there is a receptacle down here located next to the bank of drawers, so you can pull an extension cord up and plug things in here. And then of course you've got a nice bank of drawers for all your kitchen utensils. This one even comes built in with dividers. And then one last note about this area of the kitchen counter is this also serves as your dinette. So even though this is really meant to be sort of a couple's fifth wheel because it only has seating for 2 people here, you could bring some friends along and eat outside or whatever you want to do, but they have a nice overhang and a couple of nice freestanding stools, and so this will become sort of a breakfast bar slash dinette. Underneath the kitchen sink, there's also tons of storage under here. It runs from the refrigerator cabinet all the way to the side wall, and so there is a generous amount of storage space. Now there's one feature in this kitchen that Susan and I are super jealous of. We wish we had one of these in our RV, but we don't. And that is the ceiling fan. And with the super high ceiling heights in these fifth wheels, they can get ceiling fans in here, especially towards the back end of the rig. So this is a great feature to have. So here we are all the way at the front of this fifth wheel up in the master bedroom area. And it's a good sized bedroom. One thing that really helps it is that the bed itself is in a slide out that pops out about a couple of feet. And so it certainly adds extra space inside the bedroom here. Now let's see what size bed this is. I'm pretty sure it looks like it's going to be short. So it's about a 76-inch by 60-inch size bed. So it's a short queen bed, but only by about 4 inches, because a full queen bed, a residential queen, would be 60 inches by 80. This is 60 by 76, so pretty close. One other thing to note about the bed is that it does raise up and that there is tons of storage underneath there as well. And then you've got windows on each side of the headboard, so you can get some cross ventilation in there. There's also a USB port, USB-C port, and electrical receptacles on both sides of the bed. And you've got a little shelf on either side for your nightstand, so you can charge your phone or tablet overnight. So behind me here is a really nice big closet area. It's got these black glass doors in here, so it looks nicer. It creates a reflection and it makes the bedroom look and feel bigger. Behind here you've got a bar underneath of the top shelf, so you can hang all of your garments in here. You do have some open storage on top of the shelf, and then there are a couple of drawers down below for even more storage. Now right behind me here is another very large cabinet that you can stow things in, with a couple of drawers below that. And if that's not enough space for all your clothes, it does come with this bank of drawers, so you can even keep more things here. Now on the side of this, it has a receptacle and USB ports, so if you need to charge things that are going to sit here, you can do that as well. And then underneath, it's got a place where you can kick your shoes and throw them under there. Above this bank of drawers is where the TV is located, so it's in a great spot. So if you're in bed drifting off to sleep at night watching a little TV, perfect location. So here I am in the bathroom, and there is a very, very good sized shower stall in here. I mean, this thing is 48 inches or 4 feet by 28 inches. And standing in here, I've got plenty of room to move around and take a shower very, very comfortably. They have a nice upgraded shower head in here, and you can adjust things up and down so your shower head can scooch up or down however you'd like it to be mounted, so it's at the proper height for you. You've also got 3 corner shelves here for your soap and shampoos, and there's even a seat in here, so if you need to sit down while you're taking a shower, or you want to shave your legs or whatever, this is a really great spot, and it's set up very well. It also has these nice glass shower doors in here, which we love. It's just so much easier to take care of and clean, and it just looks a lot nicer too. Now, the ceiling height in here is very good. Obviously, we're in a 5th wheel, and you always have better ceiling heights in here, but just standing in the shower, just to give you an idea, up into the skylight, I mean, there is 6 feet, 10 inches of headspace in here, so pretty good amount. You're going to be fine. Even you taller folks, I think, would fit in here for the most part. Now, outside of the shower is where the medicine cabinet is located. It's got a few shelves on top, a nice light up top, and then a little bit of open storage on the side. Down below that, I have a good sized vanity and sink with an electrical receptacle on the side, and then just a small amount of storage space underneath. Now, behind the shower, you've got this additional door here with storage. This storage is super deep. It's as deep as the shower, so it goes back 32 inches. I just stuck my tape measure in there, so you could store linens and things like that in here and have plenty of room to do it. And then you'll notice above here there is a max air fan in this bathroom, which is great. These fans are awesome. They work much better than the cheapy little fans that you'll find sometimes in the bathrooms. These just pull a lot more air, so the benefit of that is when you're in here taking a shower and you generate all that steam, you can have your fan on and pull all that steam right out of here, because you don't want to have humidity or condensation forming inside your RV. It's not good for it. But these max air fans really, really help to deal with that problem altogether. Now, the toilet in here sits in this little cubby area, so I'm not going to be able to pass the elbow test, but the bathroom is really big, and so it doesn't feel like I'm cramped at all. Hey guys, let us know which one of these 5th wheels that you like the best and why in the comments down below. You know, we read almost every comment that comes in. We try to answer every question that we can. We would absolutely love to hear from you in the comments down below. Also, if you want to check out even more 5th wheels that are under 30 feet long, just click the box down below, and Susan and I will see you in the next video.